To use the race analogy that many have used before, we must not allow the virus to get too far ahead of the vaccines. Therefore, as indicated last week, we intend to maintain the current restrictions applicable in each part of Scotland for the next 3 weeks.
So there we go, the number is 1,000. It's exactly how many people are going to be here for the Bennetts British Superbike Championship. But the show must go on. Everything still has to get put in place. The circuit still has to be tip-top. The staff, they're all hard-working, getting the place ready for all you guys coming to watch on site or maybe on the television. It never stops. The show must go on. Let's go and catch up with some more of the staff and just see how their preparations are taking shape.
Hi, I'm Laura Graham. I'm Sales Manager at Knockhill Racing Circuit, and along with the team, I deal with all the sales inquiries, all the inbound communication from customers, and generally we deal with ticket sales, experiences, karting, track days, but this last month's all been about British Superbikes. Following the recent announcement of our limitation of spectators to 1,000, it's been a very different week. Our customers have been amazing, but bitterly disappointed, like the rest of us. And this has been a very different run-up to Superbikes than what we used to.
So when we found out from Fife Council that we were getting 1,000 spectators, yeah, it was a bit of a shock. We have a very good relationship with Fife Council, and Fife Council had been excellent with us. They really have been very supportive, helping us with the regulations, giving us advice, checking over our event plans. So, you know, all the talks have been going really well and everyone was really pleased with what we were doing. So yeah, it was a bit of a shock, but basically Fife Council were told by the Scottish Government that they wouldn't be given approval to give our event a higher capacity than is currently set out in the framework that the Scottish Government have. So I think the council were equally as disappointed as we were, because, you know, you can see an outdoor large capacity venue. We weren't asking for much, you know, we were asking for 15% of capacity. So we felt we had a good case, and I think lots of people felt we had a good case to get that number. And in particular, it was difficult to understand because the week that we got the news was the week that all the football fans were in London supporting Scotland playing England, and yeah, it was a difficult decision to understand. But that's the decision. You know, it was a very final decision. There was no negotiation or discussion on that. So 1,000 is the figure that's set out in the Scottish Government strategic framework for events, and that's what we had to deal with. So yeah, it was a big blow, especially for everybody that has worked so hard on the event. But we have to stick by the rules, and we will. So that's what we have to do.
Hi, I'm Gordon Shedden, a triple British touring car champion, but also working here at Knockhill, looking after the commercial side of the business. So 2 hats, very much all motoring related. I think the challenges of racing in COVID times have been absolutely unheard of. Such a strange environment to be part of. Obviously, racing with zero crowd just takes all the atmosphere out of everything that motorsport's about, because it's about passion, it's about excitement, and it's about living the event. For me, racing all over the UK in the British Touring Car Championship We have limited crowds down south. I raced last weekend at Brands Hatch with 4,000 people, and even that small amount of crowd in that vast area of Brands Hatch just brought the championship back to life. I know it's televised, but there is nothing better than actually having the live crowd there and being part of the event. It's a full-on experience for all the family. It's very difficult to understand just exactly how everything's ended up as it is. I understand that everyone needs to be safe, but the British Superbike Championship this weekend is arguably our biggest event of the year, and to have 1,000 spectators at it is an absolute disaster.
So from my point of view and everyone at Knockhill, it was really important that the event still went ahead. Obviously having 1,000 spectators here, the majority of them were going to be taken up by season pass holders who were given priority to attend the event. So what was really important for Stuart Higgs, the Superbike team, and for Knockhill was that the event went ahead. We had quite short notice that the numbers were going to not be increased. We'd already sold additional tickets for the event over and above the 1,000, but what we all agreed was, you know, we missed Superbikes in 2020, and it was extremely important that the series had their scheduled event as is planned with the TV coverage on Quest and Eurosport. And it was really important to me at Knockhill that, you know, the Superbikes came back to Knockhill. We missed them last year, and we didn't want them, you know, we didn't want to miss them for 2 years. So we are fully back in the event. Superbikes are fully behind coming here, and I think it's a really important thing for Scotland. Of course, there's only going to be 1,000 people here, but I'm sure the rest of the fans will be watching it on the TV, and they'll still get the great thrill of watching the Superbikes going round the twists and turns of Knockhill.
So it's been a challenging week for the team. The girls have been working flat out. Normally they're here late and starting early to welcome the teams arriving in the paddock. But this time round we're learning new systems. We had to create an online self-service system to allow the customer to be able to claim their own refund. So that's all new for us, new for the customer. So it's been a little bit stressful, but they've done really well. We're on top of it now. As any new system, there will be teething problems, but we'll be on hand. We'll be on the gate. Our team, instead of being on the phone, will be on the gate in person, helping scan in all the barcodes and making sure that everybody who is able or is lucky enough to get into the venue can do so as smoothly as possible.
The week leading up to Superbikes is always a hive of excitement. It's like being told as a kid you're going to go to Disney World, that feeling of excitement and can't wait to get going. But it's very different this week because we have all the background to get sorted out, we have the circuit to prepare, but knowing we're not going to get to share the experience with all the fans this weekend is puts a real dampener on things. Always on the run up to Superbike weekend, as we get towards the weekend, it's early starts, it's late finishes, but we're all in for it. We can't wait to see all the bikes arriving on the road and people here to enjoy their day out, to get close to the action and to support the Scottish racers throughout the weekend as well. But alas, we've got 1,000 lucky people will make it. Many others will watch on TV all across the UK and the world. But from our point of view, again, from the staff, we'll do everything that we can. We'll make sure everyone has the best possible day. But geez, we just need to get people back.
Gemma Hobbs is the event manager at Knockhill Racing Circuit, and normally this week for Gemma and the rest of the team here is flat out. It's 100 miles per hour setting up and prepping for the BSB arrival. But Gemma, it's a different year, and what is it like for you this year?
This year it's really strange. It's quite surreal, sad. Sad that we're not allowed to have all our spectators in. We're only allowed 1,000. It's still busy. We're still flat out, but not as much as what we usually would be, because we'd obviously have trade, more staff, more, you know, all the planning is a lot bigger. Mm-hmm. So even though we've still got 1,000 spectators, there's still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
So it is still busy, but it's just a bit different.
It's very different. And what protocols have had to be put in place for, first of all, the arrival of spectators? How is that different?
So it's obviously only 2 days now and 1,000 each day. the public, the spectators, are not allowed to come into the paddock. They're separated, we've got to keep them separate. And the paddock competitors, they're not allowed in the spectator area. So it's 2 different bubbles. And we need to make sure that we get these people into the right place and keep them in the right place and keep them safe. We've got signage, extra cleaning. Yeah, so a little bit different.
Yeah, and what's
Sad.
It is sad, Gemma. It's very different for us. It's different for everybody. And what's your personal thoughts on it? I mean, the whole way that it's unfolded for us.
At first, I was quite angry. Obviously, they've got other events that go on and they've got more spectators and everyone's saying, oh, what about this, what about that? But I'm over it. I'm now positive. We'll do our best for the 1,000 people that are coming, and we'll just look forward to touring cars and try and make that the best we can. So hopefully by touring cars, the rules will be more relaxed and we'll get a full crowd.
Can we get signs to say that? No public access?
We'll have
That is
signs.
the sign, the skill. Where are you going, pal? Do you want to go and see if that's the sign by then?
Because that would be quite a good
Yes,
way.
go.
That'll be open now. Yep, that'll be open. Team guests, BSB teams, team guests.
Yeah.
And then the registered spectators straight on.
Yep.
That's fine.
So Gemma, we've just seen you having a quick chat with your sign man. How is it different for this year?
We've still got a lot of signs to direct people, but a little bit less than last year.
What would the number of signs normally be for a BSB?
But 50 to 60 maybe.
And for
your
this year?
exits, your car parking.
For this year, what have we got?
Maybe half.
Okay. So the sign man's loving you.
The sign man is busy.
Oh, it keeps him in a job, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So the trucks are arriving. This is truck number 1 and it's OMG. Rich Energy giving us a nice big wave as they come into Knockhill with the OMG Armada. And this is the beginning. From now till tomorrow afternoon, the holding paddock will become full of trucks and hospitality as the BSB circus rolls back into town at Knockhill for 2021.
So here we are on the week of the event, and there's a lot of venue preparation going on. So we are organising the grass cutting of all the car parks because the weather we've had lately means that the grass is shooting up, so are the weeds. So that's all getting sorted out now. We've got all the plant and equipment that we hire in for the events arriving today. The pit lane marquees have gone up for the Superbike teams. And then of course we will be expecting all of the extra equipment that the Superbike event itself brings along. That will be arriving during the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and then all the trucks will arrive with the race teams on the Friday. So we've got to make sure that we get the venue prepared for them arriving. We've got to make sure that they park up properly, nice, neat and tidy, and put on a show. Even though it's not going to be for all the spectators, it's still important that we have the paddock laid out nice, neat and safe. And then on Thursday we will be painting our curbs. Hopefully we won't have the inclement weather that we've got today. So we're preparing the venue by making sure the curbs are nicely, freshly painted and looking good for the TV. And we have some barrier work to do. The safety barriers that Superbikes bring along, they will be in addition to our current safety barriers. And yeah, we're just all getting ready to welcome the teams arriving Friday. Can't wait.
Derek Butcher, the circuit owner of Knockhill, now catches up with us. And Derek, we're standing on the iconic track, bottom of Duffus Dip.
Absolutely.
Many a great moment has happened here in this corner. This corner named after the late great David Leslie, which is always a nice thing to remember David by. But for the British Superbikes, you know, the decision's out that we're only getting 1,000 people through the gate to watch. And from your take, how does that feel?
Oh, terribly disappointing. 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. There'll be 90,000 this weekend at the Cup final. We normally get 10,000 people here over 2 days, and we've got 180 acres that they can use. It's a massive site with huge space all round about the track. I think it's an ill-advised decision.
Yeah, it hurts a bit, doesn't it?
Well, as a business, it hurts us not to have the atmosphere of the full crowd, but also financially. Let's not escape that.
Yeah.
It's a huge hit financially.
You can't escape that, and obviously it's been coming for over 25 years. It didn't come at all last year, but there was an urgency to have it back for 2021.
Oh yeah, we miss it. It's now part of our DNA, I would say. So it's just something we build up to for months on end. It doesn't just happen, oh, next week it's British Superbikes, let's just change one or two things about and open the doors. There's months of planning and months of preparation goes on. So it's really, that of course in touring cars, the two things are our two main cup final events if you want to compare it to ball sport.
Now, we care massively about our fans and our spectators who come through the door. You know, we want them to come and watch the best bike racing in Britain, if not the world, and that's what the Superbikes brings with it. And it's also it brings a host of great local talent along as well, which is good.
This year especially the Scottish riders, the Mackenzie brothers and Rory Skinner, and there's several other young lads who are aspiring to be champions. And the Superbikes here, as you know yourself, go around in sub 48-second laps in good dry conditions. So the 25-lap races just are amazing to watch, amazing. As a spectator, you hardly have time to draw breath.
Yeah, and this is one of the most action-packed areas that you can be in the circuit. If you stand at the exit of McIntyre's, it's like an amphitheatre, this whole area.
Yeah, it is. Because of the undulations, there's about 50 metres from top to bottom in undulation. If you go to these 2 or 3 spots you were talking about, you can see 2/3 of a lap. Yeah. It's incredible. Yeah. The viewing is amazing here.
And what are you going to do on the actual race day yourself? Are you going to be on the bank and have a little watch and see how it unfolds?
Normally I'm doing quite a bit of hospitality and looking after people. This year it's much lower key, might just be a few family members with me. So yes, we might become Mr. Public and go walking around the bankings and check these 2 or 3 vantage points out ourselves.
Derek, thank you very much, and enjoy the Superbike weekend.
And you too.
Thank you.
And you.
We're here at the British Superbikes in Knockhill, and as you can see in the background, things are starting to take shape. The trucks are arriving, they're starting to unload all their gear, and really the buzz for us is starting to kick in just now. It's Thursday. Friday tomorrow, nothing happens, which is a change from normal. Normally track's full of action, and we're welcoming lots of spectators in. We then roll into Saturday, and that's when, if you're in the lucky 1,000, you can come along and you can spectate from the hairpin area all the way into Duffus Dip. It's kind of starting, it's kicking in. As you can see, the lorries are parking up behind us. Everything rolls on though. The show must go on, and we look forward to welcoming 1,000 people who can come over the weekend for Saturday and Sunday only.